Y'all, it really does seem like every time Nicki does something or says something outlandish, that all we gotta do is wait a few business hours and some crazy headline about her will come out. Like, sister, you doing wild stuff is not going to distract us from this headline. We're just gonna report on the crazy one that you want us to ignore, in addition to whatever ridiculousness you got going on. So let's just get into it. Nicki's longtime lawyer apparently dropped her abruptly without prior notice. This is what this report is saying. Let's talk about it.
Y'all know who I am. Y'all know who I am. Adrian, I be in the cut. I sizzle with your man. Don't be mad at me because he recognized the brand.
Underneath me, what felt like the strength of 100,000 racehorses trampled the ground like an avalanche. I lurched violently when Javelin accelerated, keeping my grasp firmly on his spikes. Another roar shook the trees around us, and I felt Midnight's footsteps push away the ground beneath. Miraculously, the living forest shrunk small below us, a breathtaking sight in the early morning light.
Now, us is saying they got an exclusive, right? They said that Nicki Minaj's lawyer, longtime lawyer, abruptly drops her as rapper faces $10 million demand. So Nicki's lawyer's name is Judd Burstein, or I guess former lawyer, ex-lawyer. So on November 3rd, a business management company, the North Star Group, wrote a letter to the court explaining that Nicki Minaj had recently hired them. And so a representative for the North Star Group asked the court for additional time for Minaj to respond to the lawsuit brought by a fan named Tamir Peak. The letter said that Nicki Minaj needed time to retain and onboard a new defense lawyer following the recent and sudden withdrawal of her litigation counsel. Wow. The North Star Group said it became aware of this lawsuit for the first time last week based on information provided by Minaj's then litigation counsel, Judd Burstein. The representative said the same day Mr. Burstein abruptly withdrew entirely from his representation of Minaj and her company without giving any prior notice. Minaj and her company intended to appear and defend themselves in this matter, and we are requesting a stay of the proceedings, including all deadlines and further motion practice, so that Minaj and her company may have time to find and retain new litigation counsel. Have counsel review the case file, confer with their new counsel, and prepare any responsive filings in an orderly manner. And so Minaj asked for an extra 45 days to get a new lawyer to allow her to properly respond to the case, which we'll get into in a second. So Nicki Minaj's former lawyer tells us, after I won a dismissal of Tamir Peak's defamation lawsuit against Nicki Minaj in New Jersey, I declined the opportunity to represent her when Peak refiled it in New York. I believe that it would be inappropriate for me to discuss the reasons why I chose to decline the representation. However, I want to make clear that my decision was unrelated to any concern about the merits of Peak's claims, because I have no doubt that his complaint is entirely frivolous and that Nicki did nothing wrong. I continue to have great affection and respect for Nicki. Now, what's insane is that, like, you're saying this, she did nothing wrong, and that Peak's case is so frivolous, like, it's ridiculous. But girl, if that was the case, you would have stayed on the case. Like, you heard what I'm saying? If that was the case, you would have stayed on the case. A lot of times, I feel like the reason these big lawyers will reject a big case, because that means money for them. They can milk some of these ridiculous celebrities, like I've seen them do. They can milk them even if the cases are ridiculous. But I think, like, one of the main reasons a big lawyer like this, or a lawyer like this, would just completely remove themselves from the case is if being on the case hurts their career, period. Or if they envision, like, they're losing the case in such a fashion that it hurts their career, or if, maybe the celebrity that they're defending ain't cooperating in a way that's going to help this lawyer's career. I wonder what exactly can you talk about? There's nothing wrong, but like, you're her longtime lawyer and you allegedly didn't even give any kind of like warning before you just up and out of there? What's going on? On his website, Nicki's former lawyer mentions his work on 2 cases involving Minaj. Under his recent successes in 2022, he represented Minaj in a $20 million lawsuit filed against her. The case was dropped. In 2024, he defended Minaj in a separate defamation lawsuit filed against a blogger, which resulted in a gag order prohibiting the blogger from posting about the rapper. Peak filed a defamation lawsuit against Minaj in September. He claimed the rapper falsely accused him of criminal conduct, stalking, and mental disability. In court documents, Peak claimed Minaj made comments about him on April 22nd, 2024 on a Station Head broadcast. She be on Station Head. You hear me? Nicki Minaj be all over the place, but one place she definitely like to remain is on somebody, Spaces on Twitter or Station Head broadcast. Like, she be up there talking. He claimed that she said he was one sandwich short of a picnic. Oh my gosh, Nicki seems so miserable. It clearly gets a check from the government, is what she had said. Peak previously filed a lawsuit against Minaj in 2024, according to TMZ. In the since-dismissed lawsuit, Peak claimed he was a longtime fan who used his social media to help promote Nicki Minaj's work. At the time, Minaj's lawyer told the outlet that Mr. Peak has been harassing Nicki on social media for years, on end to no avail. The lawyer had added at the time he has now graduated to seeking to shake her down financially with manifestly false allegations and legally frivolous claims. He will regret having gone down this disreputable road when he is forced to pay her legal fees as required by California law. Now listen to this. The case was dismissed due to it being brought in the wrong court. And so Peak then filed his claims in New York court, where the case is currently. Minaj's team called the claims without merit and said they would be defended against promptly and vigorously. As U.S. First reported, Minaj is also dealing with a creditor attempting to convince a judge to seize the entertainer's $20 million mansion in Los Angeles. I had already done a video about that. The guy in that other case, my goodness, the guy in that other case who claims he was assaulted by Minaj's husband in 2019, and that was ridiculous. Apparently, the guy needed like 8 surgeries or something, had plates installed in his face to fix his jaw or something like that. It was ridiculous. So the guy was awarded $500,000. It's a default judgment against the couple, a default judgment. And so they wasn't paying up, right? On October 6th, the guy filed court documents asking the court to authorize the sale of Nicki Minaj's home in Hidden Hills. And I mean, the judge was like, well, there we go. Minaj addressed the situation on Twitter. On October 15th, she claimed that a former business manager had failed to tell her about the lawsuit. She said, I have evidence that this was given to a business manager who never told me. My lawyers and business managers are aware. Let's see if they'll speak up or if I'll have to call them out by name. That same business manager stole from me many times. And it's just like, okay, Nicki, like, we are not the ones you got to convince to go easy on you, girl. You got to convince them courts. They come in. They coming. And then, like, I'm wondering, this guy, your lawyer was like, oh, well, the case was frivolous. The guy that, the case that Peak was bringing against you or is bringing against you is frivolous, and we got it dismissed. But then I'm thinking, like, okay, the reason why it was probably dismissed like that is because the guy filed it in the wrong court. So when he filed it in the right court, y'all don't want to fight it? Or at least your ex-lawyer don't want to fight it. He don't want to fight it. It's because all the stuff that you have said is recorded online and can easily be pulled even if you delete that stuff. Is it because of all the defamation, all the stuff that you talk, that Peak is listing is literally right there in a recording, a video recording, that all they got to do is pull, and then now you getting sued? While you over here, you see what I'm saying? I don't know. It could be, the case could be weak or whatever, but like your lawyers are your lawyer dipping on you, bro. Like Longtime lawyer dipping on you without any prior, like without letting you know. All right, what is going on? What is going on back there? Like, what's going on? But yeah, that's it. Thought y'all would want to know. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. Make sure you go to Zoraxia.com for my epic Black queer fantasy series that is still growing. Also, make sure to go to patreon.com/AdrianExpression for more content, behind the scenes content, and my podcast. Love y'all so much, and make sure you have a good evening.
And a hater done with dealing. Y'all know who I am, Adrian. I be in the cut, I sizzle with your man. Don't be mad at me because he recognized the brand. Don't be mad at me, that nigga acting like